Good morning, student. Today in class 5 social studies, we were discussing about our constitution and all the features of the Indian constitution we have discussed. And in my previous video, I was discussing about the importance of a constitution. And I had reached up to here, but I will start from the beginning. Okay? A constitution signifies independence. That is, our India, our country is a independent country, independent nation. We are not ruled or governed by any foreign country. We are a free and independent country. Because why we say this? Because before 1947, 15th August, we were a slave country. We were ruled and governed by Great Britain or England. And so when we got independence on 15th August 1947, then our constitution came into force on 26th January 1950, and we declared India to be a republic. Okay, and India to be a free country. Okay, so it establishes the main organs of the government. Okay, for functioning of the government has got three main organs, that is the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. Okay, already in my previous video I had explained what is legislature, what is executive, and what is judiciary. So you can refer to my previous video. Then the constitution of our country defines the power and responsibility of each organ of the government, that is legislature, executive, and judiciary. The constitution defines the power and responsibility, that is what is the power and responsibility of legislature. So we know that legislature means the parliament, the union parliament, that is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So what is the power and responsibility of legislature? That is to make law, okay, to pass the bill and to discuss the positive and negative points of any bill or law, and then the bill is passed by the legislature. Then of executive, what is the role and power and responsibility of the executive? The executive is the prime minister and the council of minister. And so the role of the executive is to implement that law. The law that is made by the legislature has to be forced, has to be implemented. The people of India has to follow that law. So who will make the people of India to follow that law? The executive. That is the prime minister and the council of minister. But the prime minister and council of minister cannot go to every village, to every town to make the people aware about the new law. So the parliament, the executive, that is the prime minister and the council of minister, is assisted by a number of officials. They are known as the civil servants, the IS and the IPS. Okay, so the instructions are given to them and they make the people to follow the law, the IS and the IPS, the civil servants. And under the civil servants also many officials are there, and so in this way they all are executive. In executive it is also said that the civil servants are the permanent executive, but our leaders, the prime minister and council of minister, they are not permanent, they are temporary, they are elected for only 5 years. But civil servants, they remain in office till the age of retirement. We will not go in detail. Okay, anyway, then comes the judiciary. Judiciary is uh, the organ which provides justice, the Supreme Court and the High Court and the lower courts. Okay, so if any law is made by the legislature which is not according to the constitution, which goes against the constitution, then the judiciary will check, will see whether that law is according to the constitution or not. If it is not according to the constitution, then the judiciary will declare that law as null and void. That is, they will cancel that law, that this law is not according to the constitution. You have to make the law according to the constitution. So in this way, legislature, executive and judiciary, the power and responsibility of each organ is defined by the constitution. Then it regulates the relationship between the three organs and also with the people. That is, what is the relation of the legislature, executive and judiciary with the people. Okay, so we know that legislature means the Lok Sabha and the Raj Sabha, and the member of Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha are elected by the people. We elect our representative. Like for example, the MP of our area is Vijay Hasda. okay, from Jharkhand Mukti Morcha party, Rajmahal constituency. So he is our representative. We have elected them. He have become a member of legislature over there in the Union Parliament, and so he is our representative, and he whatever is our demand that are put forward by our MPs. Then executive is the prime minister and the council of minister, and if we see the prime minister and the council of minister, they both come from legislature. They are member of parliament. Like for example, Narendra Modi is a MP, member of parliament from Varanasi. Okay, so in this way these people are executive members, are also member of legislature, so they are interlinked. Legislature and executive, they are interlinked. The executive comes out from the legislature, but judiciary is completely independent. It does not have any role to play with legislature and executive, nor legislature and executive can interfere in the work of the judiciary, because judiciary is an independent body, independent, and the function of judiciary is to keep an eye on the activities of the legislature and executive, whether they are functioning according to the constitution. If they are functioning according to the constitution, the judiciary doesn't have any role. But as soon as the legislature and executive does anything which goes against the constitution, then the judiciary come into action. Okay. Then it also enumerates our rights and duties as citizens. We have already studied fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So it enumerates to mention one by one what are our fundamental rights, what are our fundamental duties. 6 fundamental rights are there and 11 fundamental duties are there. You can refer if you want to know what in detail, if you want to know what are fundamental rights and duties, then next chapter is there of this lesson only. Next chapter, if you go, you will find fundamental rights and duties. You can read that chapter. Then it contains our national goals such as democracy, secularism and socialism. Just now we have discussed in my previous video what is democracy, what is secularism, what is socialism. Okay, you can refer to my previous video what is democracy, what is secularism and what is socialism. Then to achieve this goal, it envisages various plans for implementation by the government. Every constitution attains meaning and content only from the manner in which and the citizens by whom it operates. Okay, by whom it is operated. Then in this way our constitution is very important to us. So it is an important body. It is our foremost duty to respect our constitution. It is also one of our fundamental duties to respect the constitution. It is a living organism that keeps evolving continuously. Living organism means it keeps on growing continuously. It is growing. Okay, this constitution, new articles, new pages are added to the constitution. So it is a living organism. It grows continuously and evolves continuously. Okay, so this chapter we have completed now. Now you do the exercise and question answer by yourself. Okay, you try to write the answers, and then in my next video I will start another lesson. Okay, till then take care. Thank you. Bye.